1 year ago, we launched our mission action plan for the following 3 to 5 years. And so I thought today, on the day that we're looking forward to the APCM after the 10:30 service, I would share with you where we're at on that mission action plan. The headline news is that things are very well, but as I was preparing this last night, I did realise that it sort of goes from worst to best, so don't be discouraged when I begin. It sounds like we've not achieved anything. Our first priority was social outreach, recruiting and training a structured pastoral care team. As you know, we took on Karen as parish nurse in summer last year, and her effect has been felt immediately in the regular talks that she's been organising here, in the innovation of the Healing Eucharist monthly on Wednesdays, as well as the work that she's been doing in various of our gatherings together as a church, and an enormous amount of work that she does out in the community, both kind of collating local resources for people who are in need and leading some of them herself. And in September this year, we have a Saturday organised with some speakers coming in to talk about pastoral care, and some people will be getting an invitation. And if you don't receive an invitation but you think that you would like to be part of a pastoral care team, then do speak to Karen. Our second point was identifying a social justice project that we could be involved in. This has sort of grown more organically than the directed way that we had imagined. One of the outworkings of that organic version is that the children at the local school identified the fact that there was an injustice in that many of them didn't have access to gardens. And so with the local nursery, they provided window boxes for every child at the school a few weeks ago, and Marion went over to the school and taught them how to pot them up, put soil into them and seeds, and now across the local area, in houses and in flats, there are lettuces growing aplenty out of those window boxes. And we also continue our ministry of caring for the homeless people and the people who are suffering with addiction, who make use of the environs of the church, as well as caring for local older people, particularly those who are lonely across a series of events. Our third effort was to recruit an eco team, which has been thoroughly stymied, really. We do have a big green day planned for the summer or the late summer of this year, building on the work that Bernie put in when she was here. But we do need a champion for that work, and a champion has yet to raise their hand or their head above the parapet. Our second priority was an open church. Our lettings are in very good order, as those of you who have read the finance report for the year will have been able to tell. And the church is open twice every day during the week, at least for daily prayer, and also open, of course, on Wednesdays and Saturdays in the morning for hospitality and to welcome people who need the services of the church. And during Holy Week, I had the church open a lot and had wonderful conversations with people passing by and walking in. And I don't think there's any limit to the benefit that could exist by having the doors open more often and the space available for people to come and pray. Our social media presence is a work in progress. I cannot express to you how little interest I have in social media, apart from that it might bring somebody to experience what real life is like in human-to-human contact in the church. But having had Mela on board for the last 3 months has been revolutionary in this respect, and we are glad to continue to push down that path of advertising in the way that satisfies people. Hosting deanery, ecumenical and non-religious community events. We do an excellent job of catering for local community events, and particularly those on the charitable side. And again, one of the benefits of having Mela with us has been her background in social impact reporting. So she has been putting all of our ducks in a row to be able to get a sense of just to what degree the church supports local initiatives and charitable work. So we support charitable things like Wandsworth welcomes refugees by providing them free space for their meetings. And we also support local up-and-coming musicians by providing them with lower cost space than they would otherwise be able to have to practice, and access to instruments like a grand piano that don't fit in Balham flats. Our third priority was school and youth ministry, relaunching a Sunday school. This one we can count as completed, meets 3 times a month and is flourishing. Launching and growing midweek toddler and carers groups. Mary's Little Lambs is an extraordinary beast. We were thinking of shutting the whole thing down early in the year. So before Christmas, we dived down to having sometimes 2 children on a Friday morning, and it felt like it really was not probably worth continuing. And then at the start of this year, it blossomed up where we were getting 20 and sometimes 30 people every Friday morning. So it really is an absolute roller coaster, but it looks at the moment healthy enough, and it's something that's worth offering the space for regularly. Fostering relations between St Mary's and Trinity St Mary's School. The relationship between the school and the church is one of the great joys of ministering here. And every Thursday morning, the school come in for their act of collective worship here in church, and they're in wonderful voice, and it's nice to see more and more of the parents and the grandparents gathering with us for that act of worship. And then we have Sally and Janet running the Thursday club at lunchtime, which there's always a great rush to the door for outside to come and enjoy the activities that we've got planned here in the church. We are in need of a school governor, but beyond that, everything is in good nick with the school. And then our stretch goal for school and youth ministry was launching a regular youth group for 12 to 16-year-olds. Well, we've not quite managed that, but what has bubbled up is the trip to Taizé. So we've got 7 or 8 15 to 17-year-olds on the older end of the young people scale who are joining us for a pilgrimage to Taizé this coming summer, and a couple of young leaders and a couple of old leaders who will be going with them. And we've already been meeting together as a group, both for social activities and to worship, and out of the end of that Taizé trip will come some more regular gathering of young people. Our fourth priority mission was spiritual growth, offering an annual explorers course. We confirmed 7 or 8 people, it was this year, but it sort of should have been the end of last year, and 4 people the year before that, and had more coming along to those sessions, which sort of double up as both confirmation sessions and also as the place for learning about the Christian faith. And they are great fun to run, particularly, there's nothing wrong with the older people who come along to them, but particularly the kind of older teenagers who are coming along. It is such a treat to be able to kind of engage in their lives at that significant moment. And we've already got a list of names down for the course that will begin in September this year. Our second one was offering annual Lent and autumn study groups. They continue much as they always have. I'm sorry that the last book was met with quite divided opinion. I know that there are some amongst us who were very fond of it, and other people who told me that if I ever selected anything like that text again, it would be the end of their worshipping at St Mary's. So we live and learn. Signposting information to spiritual direction, retreats, and other forms of spiritual nourishment. We could do more here. We've probably not stepped on the gas on that one. And our stretch goal is launching and equipping regular home groups, which is still a stretch with the resourcing that we have at the moment, and still a desire for some of the years to come. The Lectio Divina group that meets once a month is an example of what is possible and is a very spiritually engaging space. And our final priority is music. The Sunday choir has gone from, I can only tell you what it was last week, but it was it averaged 3 when I arrived, I suppose, and it averages, last week we were 12, and I suppose we average 10 at the moment, or something like that. So that is somewhere between 3- and 4-fold growth, down almost exclusively to the work of Sophie, who has been a great champion for music. We wanted to sing more music from female composers and composers from black and minority ethnic backgrounds, and we're doing that. Indeed, we introduced a whole new mass setting written just a few years ago by one of Sophie's French compatriots. We wanted to launch and develop a children's choir. This has really been on a knife edge. We've not quite cracked it, not for want of trying and leafleting every local school and putting the effort in and providing a very high quality product. But we just haven't quite made the breakthrough that we were hoping. So do keep that endeavour in your prayers. And we are speaking to a number of other churches which are equipping and hub churches around the diocese who have got projects like this up and running, to see where we might be going slightly wrong and how we can make it work. And our final one was to build on our links with the local community on our Saturday evening music series. And I know a number of you here are regulars at those, and you know that Nigel keeps turning out quality product after quality product. So from my count, there are 5 of these goals that we have, it would be fair to say, not really started, even working on. 4 that are in progress but need more work. And there are 8 that are showing success, which for a year through our 3 to 5 year plan is good going. That is, of course, on top of the regular round of public worship, of marriages and marriage preparation, funerals, baptisms, school visits, home communions, pastoral care, and parties, which you know make up the life of this church. In short, we're doing very well. Our Christian vision of witness and of hospitality in Balham is being enacted. It's working. We are seeing lives transformed. We're part of something very special here at St Mary's. And by the grace of God, we are flourishing. So keep praying in thanksgiving for all that we have seen of God's goodness poured out upon us. Keep praying in support of the church's ongoing ministry. And keep praying that the Holy Spirit would grant more growth and greater flourishing where already there has been success. Amen.